Hello and welcome to Mike and Friends. My name is Michael McClure and I am a Peace Corps volunteer from the United States of America. Today I am joined by some friends. We have Bogdan, Tanya, Marina, Artyom, Konstantin, and Lera. And our topic today is going to be American lifestyles and how they differ from lifestyle here in Ukraine. So, does anyone have any questions right off the bat about American lifestyle, how it's different from a lifestyle here in Ukraine?
Okay, Mike, could you tell us what's the biggest difference between Ukrainian and American lifestyle? What do you think?
Well, for me personally, besides the weather, because the weather is very different from California, but in terms of lifestyle, one thing that is very different is that in most places in the United States, especially California, there's lots of room, and it's a big country. Well, Ukraine's a big country too, but the United States, there's lots of room, so things are very spread out in the city. So anytime you go anywhere, you always have to drive. If you go to the store, you get in a car and you drive to the store. If you go to school, you get in a car, you drive to school. So you always drive everywhere. Nobody walks to school. Unless you live in a big city. People who live in cities generally walk or take the bus, but the majority of Americans always have to drive places. And there's good and bad about driving everywhere. There's lots of traffic in the United States, especially in cities and outside of cities. So many people every day will drive for 2 hours to go to work and then 2 hours home. So every day they'll drive for 4 hours, and this is very normal. It's not strange. It's normal to do this. It's called your commute. And that's one thing that's very different. In Shulska, I can walk everywhere, and I actually really prefer that. I like to be able to walk everywhere. But sometimes it is nice if you're going somewhere far to be able to drive yourself. You don't have to take a bus or a train. And honestly, I think this is one area of American lifestyles which is a big problem for the United States because cars are expensive, they use lots of oil, lots of pollution, and there's lots of talk to build more trains and more buses and everything in the United States because there's so many cars. People drive everywhere.
What do you think? Are the young people different in Ukraine and America?
That's a good question, Marina. I think one thing that I've told many of my friends and family at home is that teenagers or young people, high school age students in Ukraine, to me seem exactly the same as teenagers in the United States. I mean, different language, maybe they wear different clothes, but their personality and their behaviors are very similar. And I think they like the same things. They like to be with their friends. They like to play on their cell phone. They like to go on the internet, on Facebook, and contact. And they don't like to go to school. I think there's very many similarities between young people in America and young people in Ukraine. They basically, I think, act the same. So, as a teacher, it's been interesting working with them. And I've actually heard that many young students come to America to study, and they say Ukrainian students lots of times fit in or assimilate as much faster than other foreign students. They are able to adapt very quickly to the American lifestyle of young people because I think it's very similar.
What age are university students in America?
The majority of university students in America are between the ages of 18 and 22. Typically, you graduate high school when you are like 12th form, when you are 17, 18 years old, and then you start university at 18 years old, and 4 years later, when you are 22, you graduate. But there are many people who are older, who maybe after high school, they worked for 2 years and then they went to school. Some cases, there'll be a very, very smart young student who will be 16 and he will be in university. But that's very rare. And for university, after you have a bachelor's degree, you can get a master's and then a doctorate, and those ages vary widely. People in their 20s, 30s, all different age people get their master's and doctorates, yeah.
How is food different in America?
Food is very different in America, I think, and also the way in which Americans eat food is very different. Americans are famous for liking to work a lot. They work a lot and always on the move. And because of this, people like to eat fast food. It's very fast. And they eat it while they're driving, or they eat it at work when they're working. And many people, they do not sit down with other people and eat a meal. Instead, it's running, going to work, going home, very quickly, just grab something from the store. And as a result, they don't always eat the healthiest food. It's things that are easy, like hamburgers or pizza or something like that. Or they go to restaurants a lot. They go to restaurants and order food. I know in Ukraine, there's a big emphasis still on cooking your own food. Most people still eat their own food at home. People don't eat restaurants every single meal. And I think that's very nice, because in America we have a problem where also families often don't eat together in America, because the kids will come home after sports and they'll eat dinner at 5 o'clock. And then the mom will have dinner at 6 o'clock. And then the dad will come home at 9 o'clock from work and he will eat dinner. And so people don't sit together and eat dinner. And same in the morning. The dad will eat breakfast and leave. And the kids wake up, they have breakfast and leave. So it's very kind of disjointed. But I think there is kind of a movement to try to get people more interested in what they're eating and to eat with family again. And maybe in the future, people will start to eat with each other again. All right, thank you for watching Mike and Friends. Today our topic was American lifestyles. We talked about food in the United States, we talked about university students, and we also talked about the driving in the United States, which is a big difference from America. And thank you once again for joining us, and please tune in for our next episode as well.